shoot.
What happened?
Hold on. 1 second. What's up, guys? Happy NBA season. It is upon us. Dang lazy mofo. What up, Mopar? Let's get this volume turned down a little bit. Guys, we got some stuff in the works, man. I'm excited. What up, dang lazy mofo who had NBA lineups laid out on the bed like school clothes last night? Your Mopar back that I lost playing MLB. What up, Swish Up? What up, Justin Jennings? Josh Jennings, Sean V. What's a stream without Sean V? I called off work to watch Gun. Don't do that. Today's just the first day back to school, but I botched the screen here. So I'm gonna do something crazy. You guys are not gonna be ready for this. Here we go. You guys are not gonna be ready for this. Let's do Let's bring Raj on. Raj is back in. I can unmute me. And then Raj, you good over there?
Oh, okay, we live. I'll just try to check out some different lighting situations, with the tripod too. First time on camera for this, so we're still figuring it out.
Yeah. I just put you live. Raj is now.
We're in the building. Your boy Jalen Carter Music in the building, aka Raj in the DFS world. You guys know the vibes.
No, they don't. Anyway,
they should.
Man, so today's it's just a 2-game slate. It's nothing, right? It's like
slate. Yeah,
coming back to the first day of school. Hey everybody, I remember you in chat. I remember you. Hey, how'd your summer go? Oh snap! Dang lazy mofo grew some boobs. What the heck? But man, because it's the first slate back in a long time, there's a little bit of exciting. And then we got some big boys on the slate, right? Steph Curry, Harden,
we do.
KD, LeBron, the Russell Westbrook Lakers debut. Man, it's there's a lot to digest, and it's a good little starter slate to get you cranked up into the daily grind that is NBA DFS. There's not quite anything like it. And we are already, Raj, experiencing NBA Twitter news like never before. Ben Simmons stealing the show
like that
early on today. Doc Rivers sending him home from practice, suspending him opening night. So we already had Joel Embiid as the cover boy for tomorrow's stream, and now you get Embiid without Simmons, and usage goes up a little bit, right?
Am I frozen on the mainstream?
Are you frozen? I don't think so. Maybe I minimized.
Me on YouTube.
Yeah. You might be. You're good now. I think I minimized your camera. Do a little bit ghetto. Actually, are you frozen?
I'm checking the YouTube. Yeah, just watching the live link on the side here. It looks like I'm not moving.
What up, Obi-Wan? Okay, I think you're moving now. I think you're really, really slow. Yeah, okay.
Really?
Now I see you move. Now I see you. Were you just like nodding your head without talking?
Let me see you move.
Yeah. Okay.
You see you moving.
Okay, this guy.
Okay. Okay, now we kind of go. Okay.
Yeah. You're in there. In there like swimwear. Ron just froze. What up, Logan? What up, Tom Jenkins? Boss Studwell. Thought Raj was like 16.
I'm a lot older than 16.
I mean, you do sound young. It is.
I mean, 27. What are you gonna do?
Anyway, Ben Simmons, what is he doing?
He's collecting a check. He just showed up there. That's the only reason. He's literally sitting at home. He looks at his bank account. He's like, oh, that money didn't come in. All right, let's get back there. Clearly, he doesn't want to be there, though.
Yeah, I don't know. What up, John Galicio? What up, Gun? Let's get this money. Would you go with Russell Westbrook or Durant? So the short answer is probably Durant, but I will say Westbrook on DraftKings feels really cheap at 8,600. This isn't 13K Westbrook, right? This is 8K Westbrook. You get 40 plus on a 2-game slate. That dog will probably hunt. So I do like Westbrook points per dollar, but if you look at, I ran this on Add More Funds. I have a link, but I lost it. KD last year with Harden on and Kyrie off, KD averaged almost 1.5 fantasy points on DraftKings per minute. So KD's sizing up to be a pretty fine play in his own right. So not really a snap call there. I guess points per dollar, I think Westbrook gives me a little bit illusion of a softer landing if he failed, but KD's probably got the way higher ceiling in this case. But man, AK Westbrook just feels too soft. What up, Josh Plays DFS? What up, Earth to Air? Man, the old school homies coming back in here. Hopefully tomorrow we're gonna iron out more and more tech stuff here. This is kind of the baby stream to get us cranked up. Tomorrow is a pretty nice medium slate, and then Thursday goes down a little bit again. But anyway, chat. Those of you old schoolers that were part of the RunDFS.com VIP community, if you didn't grind the MLB season with us, we made a lot of changes. We actually migrated from a vBulletin-based website to a WordPress-based website, which I just completely purged the entire database, thousands of users. So if you guys are going to rejoin the familia for the NBA season. A couple things you need to know. One, you're going to have to register a new account, but that's fine. It doesn't take you but a couple seconds. Two, there's only a couple of these early bird specials. Today's the last day to be early bird special. The entire NBA season, $349. That's ridiculous. I've never done a pass like that. And then if you don't want to pop open $350, I get it. We do have some softer membership plans right now. I left the week pass at $20. If you guys remember the passes in the last couple years, it's been like $30 a week, $100 a month, all that good stuff. I dropped it 2 weeks ago because no baseball, but I'm thinking about if this is a healthy price point to keep it at. So you guys let me know if you guys want in on this action. Get into the spreadsheets. Go to rundfs.com. Get yourself signed up. Just because it says NBA, don't be alarmed. It's everything. We don't chop it up. We don't slice it up. You get an NBA pass. You're going to get premium Discord access. You're going to unlock the pre-locked voice chat. You're going to unlock the NFL spreadsheet. And then, of course, when April comes around, you get the MLB spreadsheet as well. So come join the Discord family. And if you're in for the haul, man, there's only a couple of these left. And they're going to go pretty quickly. I'm pretty sure all 10 that were preserved will be out of here. What up, Dave Jones? Channel member Dave Jones. Also, yeah, we got channel memberships if you guys want to stand out from the pack. Get a couple exclusive emojis in the chat. You can get yourself a YouTube channel membership. I'll revamp some perks over the week, hopefully. We'll probably set it up to where like the tier 2 or tier 3 guys get a coupon code at RunDFS as well. What up, Shady? Yo, Shady in the chat. Yo, chat. You guys didn't catch it. Shady celebrating his 20th year anniversary as an active member of the Air Force. So some hype in the chat for Shady.
Bang, bang.
That's huge. That's crazy. A lot of military friends in the DFS community, but Shady's been one of the hardcore ones. What up, Coach K? How about them Red Sox, man? Yesterday, Red Sox brought the hurt, man. Kyle scored with that grand slam. Following an Altuve botch, it was weird, right? I don't want to root for either team, but I think
that's like the two hated teams over there.
Yeah,
Red Sox and the Astros.
No, I want them both shot into the sun, but I think I found out while watching the game yesterday. I feel like I hate the Astros more than the Red Sox. I don't know. I wasn't sure. But now I'm pretty sure I do. But we're I'm a lifelong Braves fan for the last 2 weeks now. So
I feel like that. First he goes from the Giants to the Browns, and now it's gonna be a switch up to Atlanta.
Just because they're the true underdog, right? So I'm with them. I'm with that. Chat. FanDuel, DraftKings, big money on the table tonight. DraftKings says that $15. I guess that's their promo contest today. And then FanDuel has that $3. Something that I did a video about. If you guys haven't caught up with the Fanduel changes, FanDuel is debuting multi-position eligibility this season. We've seen them do it for football. We've seen them do it for baseball. Yes, football. Cordero Patterson was both running back, wide receiver eligible. And then baseball, we saw them do it. And this season for NBA, multi-position eligibility. So some of those nights where small forward just absolutely sucked, you didn't know what to do, you get a little bit more flexibility this season. As a guy that likes to run multiple lineups, I don't like the change because I do like, I feel like it's simpler to have less decisions at each position. But for those of you guys that do like to late swap your way through to the end of the night, or you don't like to play random guys at the small forward spot, you want to at least feel somewhat attached and safe with your lineup, it makes sense. It also makes sense from a real basketball standpoint, right? Anthony Davis will play power forward, he'll play center. It's becoming a positionless league. I don't like change, and now it's a lot like DraftKings now, and basically the daily differences is going to be scoring and pricing. So if you didn't catch up on that, FanDuel has added multi-position eligibility. Raj, which site do you play for NBA more action on, DK or FanDuel?
I mean, I think definitely more DK, but it just kind of depends on the tournaments out there, which has the better 100K to first, you know what I mean? Which has the better big tournament.
Yeah, Raj is not the bankroll management guy.
Yeah.
Historically, I've been way more on FanDuel for NBA. The only spot where I really preferred DraftKings was or is for NFL. But FanDuel historically, I've had a lot of success, especially NBA tournaments. And like I said, I think a lot of that is because I can kind of get the nuts a little bit more and not have to worry about some of the perceived must-have value plays that tend to trap players on DraftKings. And now I feel like that's going to shift a little bit this season on FanDuel. So I'm curious to see if the cash line progressively rises from last year. I think it almost has to. And then I'm also curious to see if some of those must-have value plays, like the backup Celtics point guard or something like that, increase in ownership, because I played FanDuel just to win the position. I could take the 50 bombs and not care about the 8x $3,500 player if I had 20 more points out of the top guy. So it is what it is. What up, DP? I feel that Astro hate. What up, OB? Do you play NBA Showdown slates, KD or Harden? Do you? So that they wouldn't. I would do my best to get them both, but probably KD.
Definitely KD over Harden.
Based on the information, the historical information from last year, KD has averaged way more fantasy points per minute on the court with Harden without Kyrie. And there's some concerns about Harden's scoring this year. I still think Harden is like an elite basketball player.
Yeah, he's still James Harden. I think people are overblowing that. He's not going to get 15 chips to the foul line.
The 15, 20 free throw attempts might take a step backwards. But also, Drew Holiday does exist, right? Is he going to be locked in, hunched in? One thing I have been noticing with this spread is I've seen it swing back and forth from Nets and Milwaukee by one in the hook. I figured that the Milwaukee Bucks, home opening favorites or should be favorites here, and I didn't really think it was all that close. But I guess what do I know? Money's kind of pushing things to swing the other way. But let's go ahead and open up the RunDFS.com NBA VIP spreadsheet chat. If you guys got questions, comments, concerns, fire them at us. It is really early into the season, so we're still kind of taking guesses on some of these minute projections. We did get a couple of bits of information, like Andrew Wiggins, Draymond Green were going to be limited. I didn't get a number on that, so if you guys saw a number. And then also, there's a shift in Twitter news reporting. So if you guys see some information, drop it as I kind of grow into figuring out which sources I want to trust and lean on the most. Definitely drop it in chat, share it with the class. It's always a community thing with you guys. But game number 1 tonight, 7:30 p.m. Tip-off. Milwaukee Bucks hosting the Brooklyn Nets. We got a projected starting lineup on the Nets. James Harden, Bruce Brown, Joe Harris, Kevin Durant, and Blake Griffin taking on Drew Holiday, Grayson Allen, Chris Middleton, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Brook Lopez. Kyrie Irving obviously out for reasons. And then the Milwaukee Bucks actually hit us with several outs that I do feel like open up a lot of implied minutes, right? Dante DiVincenzo out. Rodney Hood out. Not sure what the plan was for him early on. Semi Ojeleye, Bobby Portis. DiVincenzo, Bobby Portis. Obviously, I think the two biggest bits of information there, because those guys could be 20-minute players, and they do represent some shots and some usage from last year. So focusing on the absence of those two, I'm kind of keying in on one, maybe looking at Grayson Allen 3,800, and then I've been trying to come up with ways to give Jordan Warren more minutes because he looked really good in Summer League, really good in preseason, and I do think he could take a stride forward, and this is probably one of the better opportunities to get some playing time today. The other thing I was doing with the Bobby Portis information is, would I be able to confidently project 30 minutes on Brook Lopez? And I think I have to right now. They do have some bigs that can maybe play center. They also just have a potential small ball game that breaks out with Giannis maybe playing some big in the paint. I mean, Blake, LaMarcus Aldridge, Paul Millsap, guys like that don't necessarily have to sell out too much for traditional center side. So those are the two bits of information that I'm leaning on. James Harden and Kevin Durant, you put these two together, I got them 35 minutes apiece. Both of these guys were pushing nearly 30 minutes in the end of the preseason, so I'm pretty confident in them being conditioned out. These are the focal points of this Brooklyn Nets team. Past that, much like it was last year, you're guessing a little bit more and you're dealing with a little bit more volatility. Joe Harris is pushing 6K on DraftKings. I got him at 32 minutes, but he's one of those extreme boomer bust kind of guys. What we know about the Milwaukee Bucks from the last couple seasons is they're going to surrender most of their points from behind the arc, allowing almost 43 points per game last year from downtown. Joe Harris, definitely one of those shooters. A guy I was keying in on the video this morning, Patty Mills. Patty Mills is actually second to just Jordan Clarkson as odds-on favorite to win Sixth Man of the Year. And you figure, on a team that has moved on from Spencer Dinwiddie, Patty Mills, a veteran guard presence, could be somebody that maybe gets into 20-plus minutes quick enough. And over half of his shots in the last 4 seasons have been three-pointer attempts. So I do like this kind of setup for him. Raj, anyone from the Nets specifically past Harden and KD sticking out to you? And the price differences on Harden and KD from Fanduel and DraftKings are pretty drastic and notable. 10.6K on Harden on Fanduel, 9,300 on DraftKings, 10.8K on Durant on Fanduel, 9.9 on DK. So, about $1,000 difference for both guys. What's your leans on the Nets here?
Well, I'm definitely going Kevin Durant over James Harden, just because I think Kevin Durant's just a safer guy. He's probably going to chuck a few more shots. I think Patty Mills maybe does obviously James Harden's still going to be the number 1 point guard, but I think Patty Mills can take some assists away. So I really like Patty Mills at his price. I think he might be probably one of my favorite plays under 4K. Just give me some of him. A guy like Blake Griffin, I think, is interesting. He was killing Milwaukee in the playoffs. So if you give him 25, maybe 30 minutes here, again, with no Kyrie, I can see him getting you, 10 to 15 points, some rebounds, assists, and a block. So give me some Blake Griffin here. So Durant, Patty Mills, Blake Griffin, obviously some Harden too. After those 4, am I getting to guys like LaMarcus Aldridge? Probably not in this spot. I think there's other value guys, especially in the Lakers Golden State game. So from the Nets, I think it's just those 4 guys for me.
So I want to like Blake Griffin because we know he likes to take some ill-advised threes. He did spring up his hops after he got traded, but it's a little different situation than the end of last season, right? LaMarcus Aldridge was retired at the end of last year. Paul Millsap wasn't on the team. Nicholas Claxton kind of growing into some minutes here. So 30 minutes is really bullish if you try to put that near Blake Griffin. I got him at a soft 23 right now. Wouldn't stun me if he goes up a little bit more. He does have historical bad blood with this Bucks team. There's plenty of clips out there of him and Giannis and him and Chris Middleton kind of beefing, so I am worried about that. I think your 30 minutes hopes might be a little bit bullish, but I agree with the sentiment there.
Yeah.
I feel like one of the tough calls here on this Nets team is which one of these supplementary guards ends up being the play here. I think Bruce Brown, Joe Harris, and Patty Mills are the 3 names I'm kind of spinning. Sounds like me and you are on the Patty Mills side of things. Joe Harris makes sense in theory, but almost 6K on DraftKings feels so uncomfortable, right? This is almost a scoring dependent guy, basically. At 6K, he's going to need almost 30 real points because he's not going to do much else. Maybe Fanduel has a softer landing at 4,300. Is it easily Patty Mills for you out of those 3? And how much Joe Harris do you even get to?
Very easy Patty Mills for me over that cost just because of his price tag. At that price for Joe Harris, I mean, in 20 lineups, I'm okay if you full fade. Joe Harris at 5,800. I mean, guys maybe not that price, but that position that I'd rather just fill up with. It's just plenty more. 5,800. I mean, Jordan Poole's 4,800. He's going to be a lot more popular. It is a bit of a weird price point. I think stars and scrubs, stars and value is kind of the way to play today.
Always
so 58,
is, yeah.
60, I guess always is. Yeah, so guys in the mid 5Ks and mid 6Ks, just an awkward price point, especially with the usage with these other studs on the team. So if you get to know Joe Harris in 20 lineups, it's fine. 150, sure, you'll sprinkle him in, but I wouldn't do any more than 10% even at that.
All right, moving on to the Bucks side here. Giannis Antetokounmpo, 11K on FanDuel, 10K on DraftKings, and my soft projections this afternoon. I think I just ran it about an hour ago. I had Giannis Antetokounmpo leading the entire slate in raw fantasy points. It seems like Giannis always goes under-owned versus some of these other lesser priced studs. I get it, but he still gives us an incredibly high floor. It's opening night in Milwaukee. National TV statement game for the MVP here. 10K on DraftKings if if you thought that Giannis would be lowest owned out of Harden, KD, Curry, would that do anything for you? Like, do you think that pushes your needle to want to get to more Giannis, at least at 10K on DraftKings? You feel like 50 is just like you start with 50, work your way up from there. He has every right to score 70 on a slate like this, especially. Remember, those Bobby Portis minutes and usage could just kind of trend his way because they don't really expect Brook Lopez to ever pick up the slack in terms of rebounds, whatever peripherals that Portis might have been offering. Is Giannis getting slept on for what that's worth in a 2-game slate? And what are you doing with the Bucks? Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton are always kind of coin flippy, but 7K a piece on DraftKings, essentially just a 233.5 total. It has gone down a couple points since yesterday, but it's still the higher scoring game, and this is a team where you can kind of key in on 4 specific guys to push 30 minutes or so. I got Drew Holiday at 35, Middleton, Giannis at 35 apiece, and then right now I got Brook Lopez at 30. I get it. Normally that's probably a little too high, but without Bobby Portis, I'm willing to kind of sit there on that. And then even Grayson Allen, I got him at a high projection. You could almost get away with full stack and Bucks and feel like you're not skimping or pinching pennies because as a collective stack, the usage becomes a little bit more spread out, and each guy offers a little bit more viability from a fantasy point standpoint. Drew Holiday, we know him as a defender peripheral guy. He still averaged almost 18 real points a game last year. Chris Middleton over 20 real points a game last year. He was a guy that we saw get up over 8K at times and some peripherals to boot. What's your lean on the Bucks here, and are they like the most stackable team on the slate?
Yeah, so I think Giannis should be the highest owned guy on the slate. I think he's
the
guy that gives you the upside. He won't be. But I think that's the mistake. I think with all the value today.
So the question was, out of Harden, KD, Curry, and Giannis,
I'm taking Giannis every day, all day, twice on Sundays. There's just no way I'm taking any of those guys over him.
Okay.
One game. It's the Bucks. I remember, even from last year, we target the Nets. Like, they don't play a lot of defense when they had all their studs there. They're not a good defensive team. Even with their team this year, they're not going to be a great defensive team. So I think they're going to be a team to target. They're going to be in shootouts all year long. It's the Bucks. They could score. So I like Giannis. When it comes to the secondary star from Milwaukee, again, at that price point, like Chris Middleton, 7,200, I get it. Could he get you a 50? Absolutely. I just don't know how much I really wanted.
Their Raj goes with the 50. It's a 2-game slate. We don't have to be standing on our concrete podium of I need 6x, 5x, 8, whatever it is. It's a 2-game slate. I'm willing to forego some ceiling for some floor, and you just know Milwaukee's going to give you these high-minute starters here. And Middleton, like, I would take a 40. I don't need 50 at 7K. I'll take a 40. I might even be okay with a 38 looking at the rest of the slate. So it's just one of those guys that I don't think I rule out at 7,200. And the same with Drew Holiday at 7K. This is a $1,500 price gap from Fanduel to DK. I guess, Fanduel's giving him those stocks a little bit more built into his price point. But man, 7K. If Drew, I call it the 999, right? If Drew Holiday's 6,900, it seems like an excellent play. $100 more, I'll take it at 7K. I like the Milwaukee Bucks. I think when you look at every team, they're the most stackable team on the slate from a multiplayer floor situation. The Golden State Warriors, you look at their starting 5. We got a couple guys with minute restrictions. You look at the Lakers, you got 3 studs that could eat into each other. And you look at the Nets, it's Harden, KD. They could, tap out at 45, 48 in a range of outcomes, and then you're guessing the rest on what could be like an 11-man rotation. The Bucks, I think, would be a group that I lean heavily on in my optimizer tonight. So with that said, Dante DiVincenzo out, Grayson Allen 3,800. How much? How much is too much, Grayson Allen? Chat, chime in. Raj,
I feel popular Grayson Allen is never a good thing. I like the Nwora call over Allen. I know Allen maybe is a closer player to a guy like DiVincenzo, so he might have to kind of mimic his role. But give me Nwora here. You get a little bit of savings. I just think he's a better player than Grayson Allen.
If I could get the minutes to be even close, I would agree with that. And then of course, if Warrior coming off the bench, I would be on that as well. But right now, I'm having troubles not having Allen lapping Nwora in minutes. I got 29 minutes on Allen right now and 15 on Jordan Nwora. I have seen some sources put even more minutes on Nwora. I actually started with like 22 minutes yesterday and worked my way backwards, thinking about George Hill, thinking about Pat Connaughton and stuff like that. So
I think those guys take minutes away from Grayson Allen more than Nwora.
It's possible. Warrior is also a guy that can play some forward, so maybe the lack of Bobby Portis will benefit him as well. But yeah, the minute projection on Jordan Warrior is definitely something I'm wrestling with all day. And hopefully, I'm a Nwora truther. Hopefully, when we get closer to lock, I can feel a little bit better about it. I'm gonna have some no matter what, but Grayson Allen does seem like 25 plus minutes at 3,800 is in play here.
Yeah,
and like
he's going to overlap with all the starters, though, right? He's going to overlap all those minutes with.
Right, he'll be the least used guy.
Right. While Nwora, I think, is going to have some minutes without Giannis on the court, or maybe even more with this without Giannis on the court than Allen.
How many? That's what I'm struggling with, right? 10 minutes of great play is kind of so low. Let's get caught up on chat here. Thoughts on starting with Russell Westbrook, Jordan Poole, KD, and ABC? Yeah, all four of those guys are fine. I do think with Jordan Poole, I'm assuming you mean Poole. I see Poe. I'm assuming you mean Poole. It looked like Jordan Poole was set to be the highest owned guy on this slate, so you're kind of living and dying by that. But it makes a lot of sense. I did see that he was only $11 on Yahoo, which is $1 above min price. So you'd almost set it, forget it at that point. But yeah, getting Westbrook, Durant, ABC, like I'm fine with those three. It feels like cheap analysis because I think when it comes to lock, I'm just gonna multi enter here and just kind of play game stacks, team stacks, stuff like that, and kind of be numb to the results because 2 game slates are a little but there's absolutely no pushback with those guys at all. Mopar says Grayson Allen 2,000 the first 3 minutes. I said it for all right. Bet. What up, Travis? Any of that center from Milwaukee? So I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce his name, but I assume you are speaking of the backup center. And I definitely think if you place some Portis minutes to him being min priced is intriguing because he looked pretty good in preseason. And at min price, the risk reward is never better, right? You get the peripheral, the more safe peripherals, right? Not being scoring dependent. You can lean on some rebounds and stuff like that, and then you can start playing weird ranges of outcomes like potential blowouts, right? In fourth quarter run, this guy would definitely get some action. So I don't mind looking at him. Looks like he doubled in his last preseason game. 1 second, real quick. I gotta yell for my old lady. But anyway, I don't mind him. No worries about the ABC injury. I'm not too worried. Limited minutes for Green and Wiggins. Yeah, I did see that pocket. I believe with Portis out and Giannis playing a little center, we could see a lineup with Giannis, Nwora, Middleton, Allen, and Holiday. I definitely think that's possible. Like I said, against the Nets, you can play more small ball just because they don't have traditional height. So I'm with that. Can you check the door? Somebody's knocking. Anything else from this game? Looking off the bench, and any George Hill at 3,900. I got him for about 20-ish minutes as well. Are you interested in that or Pat Connaughton? Pat Connaughton, feel like that's an easy pass on DK at 4,700, but under 4K on Fanduel. I'm a little bit more intrigued.
Pat Connaughton is not really. I guess on a 2-game slate, it's fine. Again, I'm not rushing to play him. Not someone I'm gonna pour or anything. Guys like Pat Connaughton, George Hill, you just kind of throw them in there and hope they can come through versus the Grayson. Like, they're all the same. Connaughton, Hill, and Grayson Allen. Like, I mean, you're flipping a coin. How do you can project any one of those guys to really outscore each other with any consistency?
Yeah, so I got them all sitting down about 18 DKP, and what the crazy part is I'm getting 18 on Nwora in just 15 minutes. So if I can get that 15 minutes to a 22, to a 24, that 18 probably goes up to, over a point per minute right now. So I like his production quite a bit. All right, let's move on to the next game here. Warriors at the Lakers, main event tonight. 226 is our total. 3.5 point spread in favor of the home team. Los Angeles Lakers projected starting 5 for the Golden State Warriors. Steph Curry, Jordan Poole, Andrew Wiggins, Draymond Green, and Kevin Looney taking on Russell Westbrook, Kent Bazemore, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, DeAndre Jordan, keep an eye on that starting lineup. A couple of these starting lineups the first couple of days are kind of guessing. The Lakers definitely have a lot of versatility with what they could roll out, but it seems like this would be the way to go. AD being the potential 5 is kind of what I'm kind of bracing for. But the first thing that stood out to me about this game, well, one, Steph Curry, unlike all of these other studs, has no competition on his team for usage, right? Lakers could have a 3-headed monster that kind of eats at each other. The Nets, obviously, with Harden and KD, they could top each other or pull down each other's ceiling from time to time. And Giannis, I guess he has a safer route in terms of usage, but he still has more of a team around him. Steph Curry is the usage guy, and even more so now that we did get that news bit about Wiggins and Draymond being limited. There's no Klay Thompson yet. Kelly Oubre's on the Hornets now. James Wiseman's out. It's Steph Curry. And if this is going to be a 3.5 point spread, and this team's going to be competitive, Steph Curry is going to go out there and he's going to have to be a huge contributor. At 9,400 on DraftKings, I have the question in the chat right now: who scores more fantasy points tonight, James Harden, Steph Curry? I in my soft projections ended up with Steph Curry landing at 48 and Harden at 46. So I got him about a bucket more in the median projection than James Harden. So I guess that's kind of my answer there. And, like I said, no competition here. So if Curry doesn't do well, if he doesn't pay off this 9,400, just thinking through the slate, this game's probably not too competitive. So I got to feel like Steph Curry is one of the guys to hang my hat on tonight in a 2-game slate. And then we talked about Jordan Poole. He's right below 5K on both sites. Looking at the last 15 games of last season, he was pretty efficient. He was averaging just about 24 fantasy points per game without Kelly Oubre, now with the limited Wiggins. Going against this new look Lakers guard defense, which, say what you want, I guess, about the offensive stylings of KCP and their tandems last year. But moving on from KCP, from Caruso, Westbrook is probably a step backwards defensively, right? So Steph Curry in a good spot, and Jordan Poole's in a good spot. And now you focus Wiggins and Draymond on LeBron and AD. I definitely think this team will run as Curry and Poole runs. What's your lean on this game? I feel like this is the chalk spot, the Warriors area, especially in the Jordan Poole decision. Mm-hmm. What are you doing with this game? And then give me your best guesses on best points per dollar plays from the Lakers side of Big Three.
Yeah, so this game, you definitely have to like the Warriors side. I think the best points per dollar guy on the Warriors is actually Looney. I think Looney's going to have to play a ton of minutes there with Draymond on a minutes limit and with the size of the Lakers. So I could see him playing 35 minutes here and just have to be there to fight for those rebounds and really kind of protect the paint, even though he is a skinnier guy. So give me a lot of Looney here. Again, with Andrew Wiggins still figuring out his conditioning, a couple weeks away, Poole should chuck up 15 to 20 shots next to Curry. So Poole is chalk. I'll eat that chalk, play him at 70, 80%. Steph Curry, it's his team, still with no Klay. Draymond limited. I'm with all the Steph Curry here. Lakers side is getting no. Anthony Davis is projected to be 20% on a 2-game slate, and he's 8,800. That's where you can get some. Yeah. If you want to triple the field on that, I mean, it's Anthony Davis at 8,800 against a Golden State Warriors team that has nobody to guard him. So, I mean, he could easily feast here.
I agree with that. I think it's easy to think about the Lakers' Big Three and be like, oh, dude, they're going to kill each other's ceilings. They're not 10K apiece. 8,600 on Westbrook, 9K on LeBron, 88 on AD. I mean, these are softer landing spots where if you're getting 40, 45 out of Westbrook AD, that's acceptable on a 2-game slate. Maybe LeBron has the most to prove at 9K from a fantasy standpoint. But if you're getting 40 plus, especially out of the 3 of them, I definitely think the pricing on DraftKings is a little bit more welcoming and gives you a softer landing to compensate for their potential decrease in ceiling. So I will say I do think that's kind of overblown because of their prices being what it is. It seems like overall in the slate, DraftKings is giving you a little bit more versatility in the pricing than Fanduel is. Fanduel is going to make you make some more decisions, but they're also maybe going to allow you to play with the multi-position eligibility. The Lakers did have some news that is very noteworthy. Taylor Horton-Tucker out, Wayne Ellington out, Trevor Ariza out. Kendrick Nunn's questionable with an ankle. And then, of course, remember Alex Caruso now with the Bulls. So their guard rotation outside of Westbrook's going to lean on Kent Bazemore, maybe Kendrick Nunn. If Kendrick Nunn can't go, maybe Malik Monk and Rajon Rondo pick up some valuable guard minutes, and you start playing with which one of those guys has a valuable game to contribute to your lineups at their price points.
Monk was balling that preseason before he had to sit out with injury.
Yeah, Monk's a bucket. I like him. But he is 4,500, so he kind of needs to be the 24 fantasy point area for me to feel like he's going to make an impact tonight. But guys like Dwight Howard, DeAndre Jordan, you mentioned AD should be able to get the peripherals that he'll be that he wants against this Warriors front court. Well, maybe Dwight Howard's kind of that sneaky play. I was looking at our RunDFS.com VIP Discord earlier today, and they were talking about how Dwight Howard was balling. It was one of his last preseason games, and we've seen that out of him even in Philadelphia. He's a guy that can quickly have 10 and 10 in like 15, 16 minutes. So I don't mind looking at those guys. Carmelo Anthony, little bit of a price gap from FanDuel to DraftKings again. 3,900 on DK. 20 minutes is my soft projection for him here. If he's coming off the bench at 3,900, some shot volume is going to be there for him. If none is out, maybe we raise his floor and his shot count as well, and he might get some valuable minutes at 3,900. The 5K on FanDuel doesn't feel good, but the 3,900, I'm kind of interested in that. And then moving back to the Warriors bench here, we mentioned Thompson and Wiseman out. Otto Porter's been added to the Warriors team. I got him for 25 minutes right now. I like his FanDuel price at 4,400, especially as a potential peripheral guy, where the peripherals might be will definitely be more rewarding on a site like FanDuel. He's a guy that can get you some rebounds, averaged over half a steal per game last year, and can shoot the three pretty efficiently. That's kind of his thing. Maybe last year a down season, but 25 minutes for him at 4,400. I can get behind that. If we look at his multi-position eligibility on FanDuel, he is small forward, power forward. So yeah, I'm vibing with that. 5,300 on DraftKings. You need him to be a point per minute, but I don't think that's an impossible task, especially now that we know Andrew Wiggins and Draymond Green will be limited. I didn't account for that because we had to go live, but I don't know. I don't know what limited means. I would like to maybe get some more finite information on that. But do you think limited means less than 30 minutes? Because if I can walk backwards on these 30-minute projections to like 25, 26. That's a couple more scraps for Otto Porter that maybe makes him a little bit more valuable, especially if we can get him going near a point per minute against the Lakers. What's your thoughts on Porter?
I like that call. I like the Porter call. He had a last good preseason game. He was shooting his threes. He's going to be out there. He can play some 4. He can play some 3, even some 2 if they really needed to. I like him out there. Again, like you said, I think Wiggins and Draymond are going to play closer to 23 to 25 minutes than 30. So I think that should give Porter. Porter I might have his minutes projected up to 24, 25 minutes, even pushing more if they really get. So, hey, push that even more if you think Draymond and Wiggins are going to play even less. So, Porter at 5,300, I think that's a great tournament play. I don't think a lot of people get to him at that price. So, give me some Otto Porter here. I like him from the Warriors. Love Looney, Poole, Curry. And I think those 4 guys will probably be my highest Golden State guys.
The Love Looney sounds a little much for me.
I do. At 4,100, I just think minutes equals money. I just think he's going to have.
I don't have a ton of minutes on him, but I'm not going to push back. There's not like those crazy plays. It's kind of what you need to land on a 2-game slate if you're gonna have a solo shot at first. So I'm not gonna. There's gonna be times this season where I clown you. I'm gonna let you make it on the Kevin Looney.
There it is. What about Bielitsa?
Yeah, so Bielitsa was definitely an interesting one. I saw our boy Josh in the RunDFS.com Discord was going to bat for him earlier today. Definitely a guy that if his shot gets hot, he lands 4 threes from behind the arc and picks up some peripherals. With all these guys, it's going to be a matter of how do I confidently get their minute projection higher. Draymond Green being able to go a little bit backwards based on that limited information, sure. I don't think it's a crazy stocking stuffer. I wouldn't allow myself to get overexposed to it, but it's not a name that would stun me later in the night if he did have a sneaky 20 fantasy points.
I mean, I wouldn't be shocked at all.
Josh Jennings, Belly's minute's going to be game script proof. Let's get caught up on chat. What up, Saint Case? Welcome back. Man, there was a good old fashioned Sean V debate in chat. Those are always great. What up, Rod J? Yo, if I miss you guys, man, I welcome back. Pocket quarterback Lamar Jackson. Let's go. Simon Lung, Lorenza in the chat. I think that's it. I want to make sure all you guys get your love for showing up and showing out. I definitely appreciate it. Mopar says Draymond is the type to get kicked out of the game on limited minutes. I ain't joking. Yeah, he'll also, if you know you're limited, he could play a little bit rougher and tougher, right? This might be one of those spots where they obviously diet his minutes to where he could probably close the fourth quarter. So maybe even see some secret squirrel stuff in the third quarter where a big minute run for maybe a Bielisa or an Iguodala or something like that happens. So it was pretty quick to digest these two games here. Like I said, Chad, this is one of those slates where I would be absolutely numb to the results. I would be happy that NBA's back. I would be glad that we're able to maybe sharpen some of our process here and get reacclimated with the process of absorbing news as it drops and digesting news, and then trying to get loosened up for the main slate. I guess we can try to make a lineup here, but like I said, I think a lot of my lineups are going to be just team stacks, game stacks, stuff like that. Whatever sticks. So, chat, if you guys get any hot takes, questions, comments, concerns, throw them in chat. And like I said, I think looking at it this morning, it was like Jordan Poole was the chalk. I guess the question that would be a massive question, right? A 2-game slate. If a guy was 60+% owned, 65% on certain sites, is there, viability in fading it? I guess yes, but I would also say maybe, if you've been grinding,
it's a 2-game slate. I feel like if you got 56%.
If you've been grinding baseball in NFL, chalk busting is definitely a little bit more common. So maybe don't lose sight of the fact that in NBA, chalk usually is chalk for a reason, and the massive, right? Like Kareem Hunt doing what he did in NFL over the weekend, and then in baseball when a pitcher gets shelled, it's a little different. So I think a lot of people right now probably hate chalk, but on this type of slate, there's times when there's good chalk and there's bad chalk, and it feels like Jordan Poole just seems too cheap for the opportunity before him, the minutes before him, especially considering that some of his starting mates are going to be limited. So let's get caught up on chat here. 96 people watching, man. I appreciate that. First game back, 2-game slate. Hey, tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central. We're running it back here. We'll have a lot more games to chop up. Feels like the second game gonna go. Sean V says, feels like the second game's gonna really underwhelm for fantasy. Lakers gonna play strong D, slow it down, and at the same time be out of sync on offense, trying to incorporate Russ. Strong D, I guess. I mean, I think their interior defense is going to be strong. I
think Westbrook's going to be a better defender this year just because his offensive workload is going to be less. I think that's a real thing with him. He has all the tools to be an amazing defender.
That's fair. Russell Westbrook, my favorite player, so I'm here for all of the Russell Westbrook MVP discussions.
That's a stretch.
No, Zach Scott crazy to play Bielisa, Looney, and Porter to fit Durant, Giannis, Middleton, and Curry. I mean, it would seem like
I hate that in tournaments.
The short answer is probably yes. I'm not. Maybe 3 is a little overkill there. Looney, if you talk about this defense, you can guess on Westbrook and Bazemore all you want, but you know that this interior defense is going to be a little harder to get off on with AD, DeAndre Jordan, just worry about rim protecting, same with Dwight Howard. Looney seems like he has the toughest path to tournament success. Yeah, if you're just looking for a modest result at his price point, 18 to 22, something like that, it's viable and it's possible. But he would be my least favorite of the trio there. But I guess that front court is so soft that I might be able to move up on his minute projection, but I don't think I ever really move up on his usage projection, and I don't like the matchup. So he might be my odd man out if we start.
I just hope he falls into 10, 12 rebounds because he has to be out there.
That's 12 rebounds. It's not happening. Stop it.
Someone's got to get the rebounds. It ain't gonna be Curry or Poole. So,
so would you play Westbrook over Court? No, I would not. I would like to have both. But like I said, I think if you think this Warriors and Lakers game is competitive, knowing that Wiggins and Green are limited, the only way this game's competitive, correct me if I'm wrong, really the statement for every Warriors game is Steph Curry has to have 30 real points, right? So I don't think it. Like I would go Westbrook over Curry there. I definitely would have Curry because I think Westbrook's success would be contingent on Curry's success. I think they correlate pretty positively if you think about the game running like that. So that's where I'm at. But I do like Westbrook's $8,600 price point. I definitely maybe not expecting him to average a triple double, but like I said earlier, if you guys missed it, Westbrook, LeBron, AD. This is not 11K, 10K. 9K, right? This is 8,600, 9K, 8,800. 8,600, extremely soft landing spot for Westbrook, where 40 fantasy points is just fine. And we know that he's the guy that will peripheral his way to success and whatnot. But I do like Curry over Westbrook in a 1v1 just based on concentrated usage. Travis Duarte says big around the Lakers seem like a toss-up. Yeah, if you guys use an optimizer, maybe you set a rule to not have all three. I think that's respectful. I do think maybe that's something I would do more so in a larger slate, but I think in a small slate as well, it's fine to say, hey, I only want two of these three, and more than likely it's going to spit you more Westbrook and AD than LeBron, just based on the.
I think you should have more LeBron than Westbrook.
No.
I think even in the preseason you saw LeBron's still going to have his usage. It's really Westbrook who's going to take a step back in terms of usage.
I vehemently disagree from a fantasy standpoint. I think Westbrook over LeBron here. Just because I don't think who's more likely to play 36 minutes, be honest. Like I know right now I got LeBron at 36 minutes.
I think during the season, sure. First game of the season though, I don't think anyone's going to be on a minutes limit for the Lakers.
I think Westbrook just wins the check mark. Think about what LeBron's competing with in the forward spot, right? Giannis, KD, Westbrook. It's him and Curry, and I guess
sure, it's fine
to an extent Harden. But I think price wise, I'm more inclined to get behind Westbrook here, especially with some of these other guards being out. I'm not anti LeBron by any sense, but right now my projection on LeBron's only about 3 points difference on DraftKings, 2 points on Fanduel, and the price difference is more than enough for me to justify going with it. I mean, LeBron's $1,000 more than Westbrook on Fanduel, so I'm easily leaning LeBron in that seesaw. But I mean, I'm not going to talk you off of a LeBron ledge if you're on it. Johnson's just my thought gun. I'm starting off with Curry, Poole, Durant, Giannis, and Looney. Thoughts? Is this a Fanduel or DraftKings, John? We could put some of these cores into a mock lineup and talk through it if you want. What's up, Crispy? You doing all right? Do you think we've seen the end of triple double Russ? I think we've seen the end of average of triple double Russ. Yes.
Yeah. But once one like LeBron or AD are out, he'll go back to being that.
But yeah, I don't think we've seen the end of double double Russ, and that's fine with me, whether it be assists or rebounds. So I still think 8,600 is still a little too soft for what he brings to the table, especially with some of these other guards out for a while. I still think Russ's minutes are going to be super solidified. So let's open up DraftKings real quick and let's look at that mock lineup for that starter that they put out. Also, John put out a lineup. Here's my first lineup for NBA Showdown: Captain Giannis, KD, Harden, Bruce Brown, Millsap, Patty Mills. The fact that you can get Giannis, KD, and Harden in that lineup and still, have an exposure to Patty Mills, I'm absolutely fine with that. Yeah, I haven't toyed with making showdown lineups yet, but I definitely think I will. I like NBA showdowns. Because a lot, especially for cash, 'cause a lot of times you can get away with putting up one of the value plays up top and just getting every stud, and you're just you're trying to finish top 40%. Works out. Looking at John's DK core, so he said he's starting off with Curry. So we'll put Steph in the mix here. Poole, Durant, and see what else we're running it. I do like that three as a start here. I do think they all have the strongest points per minute. And then you mentioned Giannis at 10K. So that leaves you 39 per. And then you're throwing in Patty Mills. I like that. Or no, you're throwing in Kevin Looney. Looney's fine. I do think the center spot's a little bit more shallow than we would like it to be. Obviously, 8,800 has some perceived value based on its historical strengths, but past AD, I mean, it's a guessing game. I think one of the names that kind of strikes me here is Brook Lopez, and I think going back to last year, I'm always a sucker for Brook Lopez, but if you give him 30 minutes here, and he's a guy that can get you sneaky blocks, chuck some threes. 30 is not a outside the realm of possibility. Yeah, maybe that's what you need at 5,900, but I do kind of like the idea of him being slept on in the absence of Bobby Portis in a revenge game, so quote unquote. But the point being is center sucks, right? It is really, really bad past some of these multi-position guys. And then if you guys didn't catch it earlier, the backup center for Milwaukee, thinking on that Brook Lopez note with Bobby Portis out, he looked pretty solid in at the end of preseason or spring preseason. I'll have to really work on saying his name, but he's bare bones min priced here. If you agree that this position could be puntable, if we can get him to 10, 15 minutes, I do think a bare bones min price, the risk reward is potentially never greater. So that might be something I play with and kind of dabble with as we get closer to lock. That's just a back of my mind thought, because I'm still it's a work in progress to get these minute projections on the first week of the NBA season as rotations get ironed out. Every year we see the same formula where guys that got big runs like Taylor Horton Tuckers, guys like that, you look at last year that were preseason darlings, didn't really translate into the same minutes into the minute rotation for their team as the season began. And that's what you kind of can't lose sight of that. And that's why I'm like, I want to love Jordan Nwora. I really do, but I don't want to, it's the defending champs. It's Mike Budenholzer. Why would he switch too much from what just won him a championship? So it's stuff like that. So minute projections are a work in progress, but if you guys are subscribed at RunDFS.com, I'm going to be tweaking them up to lock. I'm actually going to be in the RunDFS.com VIP Discord up until lock, the 2 hours before lock, as we get late breaking news from Bot Dacker, and it's going to be fun. The bigger slates like tomorrow, it's really where that becomes more valuable, but go check that out. Remember, we have just a couple of the early bird passes left at RunDFS.com. 349 locks you in to the end of NBA season next year, and it also covers all the sports that I do for NFL and baseball when that comes back. What up, Aunt Maurice? Cool new layout, or am I late? Yeah, it's a little late. Center is definitely awful. That last preseason game for him was against the Nets. Yeah, so I mean, again, preseason, there's a bunch of G Leaguers facing G Leaguers for a lot of the minutes. So we won't overreact to that, but the fact that we know that production is viable at a position like center, where the peripherals, you could stand on the court and fall into some rebounds with the peripherals at his min price without Bobby Portis, it's still a possibility, right? We don't want to project foul problems or injuries or something like that. But in your head, if Giannis got into early foul trouble or Brook Lopez got into foul trouble, who does Budenholzer call on? Seems like he would be next man up. So something to think about. And those type of scenarios definitely could go a long way to making you some scratch in the big multi-entry field tournaments. So yeah, chat. Anything else? We're almost on the hour mark. I didn't know if we would be able to stretch 2 games into an hour, but we did. Tomorrow I'm gonna try and do an 80-minute show. Usually the bigger slates tomorrow are longer, but I actually have obligations for an MLB stream on Osmo at like 4:30. So we'll try and get the entire slate done in 80 minutes. If you guys are stumbling across this channel on YouTube, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I'm going to try to upload daily videos at night, quick slate tasters and key on 4 or 5 picks that I'm digging on first look. And if those do well, I'll commit to keep doing those. Today was all right, but it was a 2-game slate, and
the next morning half those guys get ruled out.
Yeah, I don't want to go too crazy with those videos, but
yeah,
I'll just give you guys something to listen to while you're playing Madden at 2 a.m. or something like that, right? Lorenzo says, because PJ Tucker is gone and no Bobby Portis gone. Yeah, no, the path to minutes for him is there, and even if it's not there right now, pre-flop, it can get there really quickly based on an errant foul. And the Nets have a lot of guys like Katie, like Blake, like LaMarcus Aldridge, guys that can draw fouls on the front court. So it's not unthinkable for that 3K backup center to get some run from the Bucks. So I don't mind that.
I think the boost for Nwora too. Maybe they slide Giannis over to the center and play Nwora at the 4.
That's another outcome. Nwora, I know his scoring, his efficient scoring in preseason has you think guard, but he can play forward. He's listed as small forward, power forward. He's also bare bones min priced. So definitely guys that I would play with. 15 points on 14 shot attempts. Not that efficient, but 8 rebounds, 3 assists. He's definitely, from a per minute standpoint, he's matching the George Hills and the Connaughtons in my projections at 6 to 7 minutes less. So if I can raise that minute projection, Noir is absolutely going to be one of my favorite plays that can go ham, go brazy on a points per minute standpoint, right? Can't wait for the day that we are talking about the LiAngelo Ball getting minutes. Did he get cut? He got signed and cut in an hour. Yeah. I don't know what that was about. Michael Jordan was trolling LeVar Ball, right? I don't know. Anyway, Raj, any hot take for this slate?
Hot take on a 2-game slate. No hot take. I think Looney will be in the winning lineup for sure. Looney with a double today.
Yeah, it's pretty hot take. I'm not going to co-sign that. I don't. I think for me it's just I'm going to trust in Jordan Nwora to fall into some more minutes here, and I'm going to lean on that. Game that's most likely to blow out, even though Vegas has gotten us believing these games are close.
I guess you would expect the Lakers. I think that game maybe you can blow it either way. It's either the Lakers blow out the Warriors just on pure talent, or the Warriors can blow out the Lakers because they got to figure it out. How to
that's not happening. For me, it's the Bucks. I think the Bucks is when I looked yesterday and the Nets were a slight favorite. I was like, what? What
even the Bucks to blow out the Nets?
I think it's possible, right? If in the scope of this thinking lane, just stay with me, eyes closed.
Yeah.
It's opening night for the champions, right? The MVP's there. The Nets, the new foul rules, maybe Harden's a little less efficient at getting 15, 20 free throw attempts. Drew Holiday's kind of good at that whole defense thing. You're leaning on Harden and Durant. If you can shut down one of the two, I don't say shut down, limit one of the two. Now you're praying for the corpse of Paul Millsap, Aldridge.
If Harden is trash, Durant just goes for 40.
The Bucks get hot, man. They can smoke a team. So that's the one I was leaning on a little bit more. Is I feel like the Bucks are getting a little bit disrespected here as a slight home favorite, but we'll see. We'll have a lot of time to digest it. Maybe Bobby Portis is worth more than we give him credit for as the guy that can give some breathing minutes to guys like Giannis, right? Ant says, I have no idea how the Lakers will look tonight. Yeah, I think they'll look good. I think we've seen some projection systems, like win projection models, not give them much respect, right? A lot of people think this is the anti-analytics team, bunch of older guys that are inefficient shot takers, like my boy Russ. Maybe not enough spacing, stuff like that, right? They're just one of those. They feel like the Buccaneers for me, man. I love the name value that they have put together. So I'm rooting for them. They're kind of like the team I'm going to hitch my wagon onto as a casual fan this year. But from an analytical standpoint, I understand why people are skeptical. But I don't think that the Warriors, at least tonight's Warriors, are kind of built to stun them. But you never know. Steph Curry can go nuclear. Harden's gonna put on a show
Yeah.
tonight. Hopefully, man. I'm just excited to have some NBA back on the telly. Hey, chat, twitter.com/Gundacker. That's where you can get to me. We have VIP memberships if you guys want the spreadsheet, you guys want the Discord. You don't have to get the 349 one. If you go to RunDFS, if you're new to the stream, new to RunDFS.com, there's a couple screenshots here. My boy All In Finn, I'm sure he's watching. He has won 2 milli makers since last December. That's nuts. He's part of the Discord.
Bang, bang.
Big process guy. We mentioned Shady earlier. He's hitting soccer for 20K last week. And then of course, every now and then, Raj, I get lucky and win a little bit. And so far, I've been paying rent with DFS winnings for 6-7 years now. So hopefully this year is another successful week. You guys want to try it out for a week, $20 to get you in there, and then get yourself into that Discord. 2 hours before lock, I'll be in the pre-lock voice chat. And then of course, like I said, we'll have NFL coverage for the weekend. We'll have I'll probably get the MLB spreadsheet up, but baseball's basically done for fantasy now. Triple double Harden, you like that? I don't mind that. Remember, the Bucks are still not a great perimeter defensive team. Yes.
True Holiday definitely a lead.
I think a lot of the allowing points from behind the arc. I also think that that's just how they're kind of
scheme it.
Yeah, they scheme you to have to take shots from behind the arc because they're going to run fast and they're going to score a lot. So you're kind of pressured into chucking threes. But I get it. That's where I'm attacking them. I'm looking at guys like Patty Mills to maybe chuck some threes. Joe Harris feels like a guy that should have to perform here, but it's at 5,800 on DraftKings. This statement is true. If Joe Harris has 20 real points, he still may not be a good fantasy play. Like, that's how little else he really contributes on a game-to-game basis. So
he basically have like 5 or 6 threes today to be relevant.
Yeah. So it is what it is. I guess that's gonna be it. Chat. If you guys got anything else, drop
you got MVP picks for this year.
MVP picks.
MVP picks and a dark horse.
Yeah. Josh had a request. Josh, what was the predictions that you wanted? There's a MVP pick.
MVP Rookie of the Years, maybe breakout guys, things like that.
So 6 man of the year. I think Jordan Clarkson runs that back. MVP.
Fair.
It's
Giannis. I think Giannis and Luka, I think, are probably the front runners. Giannis coming off a championship, he's still going to be Giannis, putting up insane numbers. Voters might want to go back. Luka, probably the face of the league in a few years. I think a top 5 MVP guy is going to be Paul George this year. I think Paul George top 5 with no Kawhi. He's going to show up and show out every night.
Perhaps. I don't know. I think Giannis and Luka sound good. Would LaMelo Ball be an outlandish take with
for an MVP? Yes.
You think so?
Yeah, for MVP, the shot they're not going to be good enough. But I think he's going to be amazing. He could average a triple double this year.
Yeah, I guess NBA is a little bit different, where you still need to win to kind of win MVP. Yeah. Whereas other leagues, you can be MVP and not make the playoffs. So I don't know. Yeah.
So I do like LaMelo being an all-star and possibly having a triple double.
What about Romy? Go Harden as MVP. I can get that. And defensive player of the year.
Rudy Gobert, and just keep giving it to Rudy Gobert.
Yeah, it's got to be Gobert. Rookie of the year. Suggs. I don't know.
My boy Scotty Barnes from the Toronto Raptors about to make some noise. About 6'11", freaking nature. I'm telling you, a couple years, dude's gonna be a stud. Just a raw athlete right now.
And 6 man. So I think Jordan Clarkson probably runs that one back. He seems like the most talented veteran scorer off the bench there. He's the odds-on favorite. I think I saw, was it Kevin Huerter and Patty Mills were second in odds for 6 man of the year. So that's what we're dealing with. But
I think Patty Mills is interesting with no Kyrie. He might have to average 16 points tonight.
Yeah, but he also, I don't know. It's like that gets so iffy so fast the minute like Kyrie changes his mind, and I don't know. I'm essentially running back my thoughts on Jordan Clarkson there. I don't really have a lot of ground shaking takes when it comes to NBA this year. Just that my boy Westbrook's gonna get a ring, right? That's it.
I'm with that. LeBron get ring number 5, just add to his GOAT status.
Scotty, Rookie of the Year, it's the same case, playoff P. What up, Rajay? Show is over, spoiled my appetite. I mean, what do you want, Lorenzo? It's a 2-game slate, bro.
It's only a 2-gamer. We got the good stuff.
Tomorrow, running it back, though, 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central. You guys be part of that. We'll have all of the games to chop up, right? Anyway, Raj, appreciate you. Yep. You're gonna be here tomorrow.
You're gonna be here tomorrow. Jalen Carter music. The song releases tomorrow. Be on lookout Spotify. Yeah. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. You're my woulda, coulda.
What's? I was looking for your music Twitter, and there's like a million Jalen Carters.
Oh, it's a someone took Jalen Carter. My music Twitter was Jalen Carr music, just JELENCAR music.
Yeah, you gotta do better. You gotta do better.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, that's it for me. Appreciate you, Raj. And then chat, like I said, tomorrow we'll be running it back at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central. 2 p.m. Central. So if you guys want to catch it from the get-go, that's kind of going to be the time slot for the rest of the year, for the most part. Yeah, maybe a couple of... I got to mute Raj. Hold on, Raj. I had to mute Raj. If I don't mute myself and Raj, then the music doesn't play. But yeah, 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central is kind of going to be the time slot for the most part of this year, especially throughout the weekday. You will be able to catch me on a couple of NBA streams here and there, I believe. Like Saturday, I'll be on the Osmo before lock. But for the most part, we'll be right here every afternoon. So if you guys want to make that part of your daily mix of research process, I would be glad to have you guys every day. We'll have some fun as we get to the end, or to the nitty-gritty of the NBA season. If you guys got anything else for me, twitter.com/Gundacker. I appreciate you making a little bit of my day be a little bit of your day. I love you guys. Good luck, God bless, and go win some money.